Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the Program Director for the Yonkers Newark Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
Everybody, happy, wonderful Wednesday. It is the last session of our little mini summer course here. So it's been a great summer meeting with you all each week, deepening our practice, drawing on so many of the wonderful sources of inspiration and tradition and wisdom that we have access to. Sharing that with you, practicing that with you is really a great joy in my life. And it's been a great joy the last few years. I've learned so much every time we get together. And this summer was certainly no exception. So we have one of our basic classes here. If you've been here with me before, you know the deal. If you're new, just a little quick overview. We have sort of four main sections to the class. We'll start off with a nice, slow movement, breathing-based warm-up, trying to link up our breath with our movement. Then we have 5 exercises out of our chair that are a little bit more vigorous, a little bit more intense, starting to work the muscles a bit more from the seated position. Then we transition to standing, some similar exercises, working some of the same muscles from the standing position, building confidence, getting up, supporting ourselves with balance and stability and strength and confidence. And then we come back to our chair when our body is filled with all those good nutrients and chemicals and blood and oxygen, and everything's feeling good and smooth and easy and ready to go. That's when we dive deeply into our mind and do a mindfulness meditation contemplation experience. At each step of the way, I'm going to give you some options to do some variations you could do on a particular movement. The hope is that you adapt the one that is best for you and try to explore the movements, feel the movement for yourself and see what muscles it's working and what feels best to you. Let your body be a bit of your guide on your end of the screen. And as you do that, you're mindfully paying attention to scanning your body throughout. And that's one of the mindfulness pieces that carries through the whole class. So you're adapting, you're being mindful, and you're being gentle with our body. We want to push our body enough to where it's growing, but also keep it in a space where it feels comfortable and confident and safe and supported. So those are some of the keys to the class. One of the keys to life is just drink plenty of water. So we definitely want to be doing that. And every so often, one little way to get a little of a more intense workout at home is to incorporate a little hand weight. Maybe you have some hand weights at home, some 1 or 2 5-pound hand weights. Those will be useful on a couple exercises today. But if you don't have access to hand weights, maybe you have access to a few equally sized water bottles, cans of soup, bags of peas, anything like that to put into your hands. We'll just get your forearms working more, your hands working a little bit more, your wrists will feel happier, and it'll add a little bit of weight to the movement, which will just activate those muscles a little bit more intensely, get a little bit better of a workout. But if you don't have those, the workout's going to be great. Our mind can turn on our muscles as much as anything else. And so you could have just as good of a workout without those hand weights. But those are certainly an option if you're looking for something at home today. We have one of our poems to finish off our summer, one of my favorite forms of meditation that has really developed in this class for me and something I practice a lot on my own now. And we'll talk about that towards the end. But that's a little overview for the class. We start off here with our warm-up, and we love in the warm-up to link up our breathing with our movement. And so today we'll draw on the Bikram yoga tradition, the hot yoga tradition, and their pranayama breathing practice. What we do is we'll take our hands, we'll interlock our fingers. I like to go the opposite way I normally would. We all have certain dominant patterns in our movements, and I go with my sort of right thumb closer into me, typically if I'm ever crossing my hands like this. So always good, change up the pattern you do. I'm going to have my left thumb in towards me, and this is true on any movement. If you often start off with a right punch, if we're doing punches, try to start off with the left. Always change up the basic patterns of the way you're moving about the world. It'll keep your body a bit happier and more adaptable. So we're crossing our hands in a way that feels comfortable to us. We're going to place those hands beneath our chin. And then with our breath on a deep inhale through our nose, we're going to let our elbows float up towards the sky like angel wings, as high as they could go. Deep breath into the stomach. Hold the breath at the top here. And then with a full exhale out of the mouth, we tilt our head back, push our head back gently with our fists, and bring our elbows together. Full exhale. Coming back down into an inhale with our elbows raising up towards the sky. Pushing our head back gently with a full exhale out. Inhale, elbows floating up towards the sky. We have great posture. We're sitting nice and tall. Exhaling, elbows come together in front of our chest. Flow with that a little bit on your own. Deep inhale through the nose, stomach expands. Hold for a moment. Exhale fully out of the mouth. Head goes back, elbows come together. So flow with that for a little bit on your own. No rush here. Nice gentle movement to start. Three more here together. One more. Deepest one you've taken. Great. And release the arms to the side. In between exercises, we're always shaking things out, finding our posture again, getting loose. Reminder on that posture, as always, we like to be sitting towards the front of our chair. Our feet are flat on the floor. We're engaged through our core. Our chest is out and open. Our shoulders are down and back. And we imagine that golden string lifting us up through the crown of our head to get a little bit taller through our core. And then we're engaged in this throughout, and we always return to this good posture. And returning to good posture will be a part of this next warm-up movement. We're going to just do some hug twists. So we're going to give ourselves a nice, loving, compassionate hug, and then we're going to twist to the side of the bottom arm. So if our right arm is on bottom, we're going to twist to the right. And what we do is we twist on the exhale. And when we exhale fully, then we're at the end of our twist. Then we inhale, deep breath into our stomach through our nose, and we get nice and tall again. And then on the exhale, we go deeper into the stretch. Inhale, think expansion, getting tall. Exhale, a little deeper into the stretch. Look over the back of your shoulder. One more inhale, getting nice and tall. Exhale, a little bit deeper into that stretch. And then come back to center, releasing, shake things out. So now you know the pattern. That's a good basic pattern for a lot of movements. Inhale, think expansion, think finding your posture, think getting tall. Exhale, we go deeper into the movement, deeper into the stretch. Exhale is more of a contraction. So let's switch which arm is up top now. My left arm is going to be on bottom, so I'm going to turn to my left side. I'm finding my posture again. Now we take a deep inhale through the nose, getting nice and tall. Exhale, we go into our stretch. Inhale, getting nice and tall. Exhale, deeper into the stretch. Inhale, getting nice and tall. Exhale, deeper. One more breath here. And then return to center. Excellent there. Let's get a little more active movement going here. We're going to do some window washers. So we're just going to pretend we got 2 rags in our hand. We're just going to start cleaning our windows. Whatever pattern feels good to you to start, then we'll change it up as we go. Nice improvisational movement here. You could reach out to one side maybe for a little bit. Have a little fun with it. Explore the range of motion. Come here over to the left, reach out far to the side. Let's get some top circles, nice high windows. Maybe we could alternate which hand is going with which circle. Let's come down low over here. Reach out far to the side. Come over on this side. Maybe we're in a glass box now, so we got windows to both our sides. Want to clean those too. Nice and high. Coming down low. Explore the movement. Have a little fun with it. See what happens. And then let's come back to center. See if you could do one of these alternating versions. Shoulders are feeling warm, back's feeling warm, core is engaged now, and we'll pause there. Good work. Next movement is definitely going to incorporate that breathing movement connection that we love to experience. And we're going to do a seated version of the cat camel from the yoga tradition. So we're going to start with our hands resting gently on our lap. And on an exhale, we're going to curve our spine into a C shape. And then on the inhale, we're going to open up and do the opposite. So we take a deep breath in, get nice and tall. Exhale, nice and slowly. We try to come into as much of a forward rounded C shape in our spine. Exhale fully. Inhaling, do the opposite. Pull those shoulders back and get a C going in the opposite direction. So now we're nice and open, chest is out, shoulders are down our back. Exhale. Inhale, inhale, open, exhale, contract. Explore the full range of that movement. Try to feel every part of your spine, every part of your back, moving part of the movement. No need to rush on this one. Nice and slow, deep, full movement in the spine. Couple more breaths here. One more. Deep, big inhale, stomach expands, chest opens. Exhale, full contraction. Navel goes into spine. Good, and then release that, shake that out. One more movement here. We want to warm up our lower body before we move into our seated exercises. So we're just going to do some foot circles, just with one foot at a time. We're tracing some circles. Foot hovering gently above the ground or softly moving over the ground. Again, just explore what this movement means for you right now and what feels comfortable. But this is just getting our ankle, our knee, our hip, our glutes, our quads all warmed up, nice and happy. Let's go in the opposite direction. Let's come over to the right leg. Let's go in the opposite direction. And pause on that. Great time to get a drink of water. And now we move into our seated exercises. We get a little bit more vigorous with these. These are a bit more intentionally intense. And so if you're still feeling like you're warming up, then maybe in the first round of exercises, you take it a little slower, a little bit more casually, let your body get into the movements, and then you really start to kick it up on the second set. But we've got 5 exercises. The first is going to be 2 options here, based out of the leg extension, one of our favorite movements, leg extension, opposite arm, overhand reach. But the more challenging version, and this one gets really challenging, is to do a double leg extension with double overhand reach. So that's going to be the more challenging version today. So you could either work single leg, opposite leg with opposite arm, or double overhand reach. Want to get our body into a nice L. That's a real challenging one, but might be good for you today. Our second movement can definitely incorporate some hand weights here. I certainly will be. And we're doing punches. Nice steady punch thrown right out in front of us. We get our full body into it, explore slower movements, bigger, harder punches, maybe quicker jabs. Have some fun with it. Improvise it, see what it does for your body. Third movement is going to be calf raises. So we're going to push down against our knees with our big, strong arm, chest, shoulder muscles, and we're going to push up against those with our calves. We're going to let the calves win, get a good workout in our calf muscle. Great for balance, all those things we always say. Fourth movement is one of my favorites. I think I sort of invented it a little bit. I discovered it or started using it myself. I just like the feeling of a nice good morning yawn, reach up out to the side, and we turn that into a nice, steady, rhythmic circle. Turn those wrists around, wiggle the fingers, get the elbows involved in all different ways. Nice, circular, big, wide open movement. Steady for 40 seconds on that too. And then fourth movement, still incorporating our quads a little bit here, our legs. We're going to do some flutter kicks, or we're going to do bicycle kicks. Flutter kicks a little bit easier. Pivot point at the knees, fluttering out in front of us. Bicycle kicks, a little harder, works the core a little more intensely, and the quads a little more intensely. Those are our 5 movements. We're going to start off with the leg extension with the overhead reach. I'm going to start off opposite arm working with opposite leg, and I'll go to a double overhead reach with leg extension when I feel ready. And we'll start that in 3, 2, 1. Maybe if you're still getting warmed up, maybe it's just leg extensions right now. Always a variation we could do. Always fine to go with a simpler version of a movement. That's not bothering me. But if you're feeling strong today, double leg extension, double overhead reach is going to give you a great workout. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent work. Next up, we got punches. Again, have some fun with it. Feel like a boxer. Pretend you're hitting the speed bag maybe, or you're throwing bigger punches if you want to feel nice and strong today. Get moving, have some fun with it. That's the goal here in 3, 2, 1. But we are definitely sitting tall. Our posture's engaged. We've got big smiles on our faces. Working hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent work there. Again, always finding that posture again in between each movement, in the midst of each movement, sitting nice and tall, shoulders down and back, chest out and open. Third movement is our calf raises, working the calf muscles down here, backside of the lower leg. And we're using our arms to resist to give us a little bit more of a workout. Starting that in 3, 2, 1. So find a good angle for your calves to work through a full range of motion, and then pushing just enough with your shoulders and your chest to give yourself a good workout, to make those calf muscles work just a little bit harder. Three, 2, 1. Good work. Definitely want to find our posture at the start of this next one. Good morning yawns. We're reaching up overhead, twirling the wrists around, feeling the elbows, turning those inside and out, coming out to the side. Nice circular, steady movement. Can speed it up as we go to add a little more intensity, but this one should feel good, like it's loosening the shoulders, the back, all that. In 3, 2, 1. Feel all the different joints working in new ways here. The wrists, the elbows, the shoulders. Feel the back muscles involved. Feel the triceps, the biceps. Great upper body movement here. Our core is engaged. We're sitting nice and tall. We're breathing deep. Big smiles on our faces for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. One more movement here for our first round. We've got either sitting back flutter kicks. You can support your self by putting your hands back on your chair. Harder version is to keep your hands out in front, core engaged. We could do flutter kicks, or we could do bicycle kicks. Bicycle kicks are a little bit harder. Let's get into that in 3, 2, 1. Nice core engagement. Steady, consistent fluttering. If we want to get into the bicycle kicks, we can. Those are a little bit harder, take a little more control. Even harder is to slow it down. Nice controlled movement here for 3, 2, 1. And that is the end of our first round of seated exercises. Great time to grab a drink. Pat yourself on the back and remind yourself that you are giving you a great gift at the start of this Wednesday morning. And I'm happy that you're doing that. Good. Take a little extended break here, gather ourselves, gather our posture again. But then we know in just a few seconds, we're jumping into leg extensions with the overhead reach. We've got punches, calf raises, good morning yawn stretch, and our flutter or bicycle kicks. Great work here so far. Let's jump into it Again, you could do the single leg version or double version. I'll turn to the side so you can see that a little more clearly. And we'll get into that in 3, 2, 1. So look, my posture is nice and engaged. I'm sitting nice and tall throughout the movement. We love good quality of movement, so don't go on to the harder version. If you're struggling enough with this, let your body get comfortable with this. But if you're ready for something more, double version here. Gets more difficult. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work. Next up is going to be punches. Have some fun with these. Start to feel the shoulders burning, the triceps burning a bit. And enjoy the movement in 3, 2, 1. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work there. Next up is going to be calf raises. Really work on giving yourself that resistance with your arms. Make those calf muscles work hard. They're great for balance, and they are correlated to good heart health. They help to push all the blood back up to the top of our body. So great to have strong calves in our lives. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Nice full extension like a ballet dancer here for 3, 2, 1. Great work. 2 more movements. We got our good morning yawn. Again, explore this movement, have some fun with it, improvise it a little bit, treat it like a dance. This should be a nice, engaging, energizing, opening movement for us in 3, 2, 1. Sitting nice and tall throughout, big smiles on our faces. Just turn that smile on. Can do a lot for you. Intentionally choosing to smile. Three, 2, 1. Great work. One more movement. Flutter kicks or bicycle kicks. You choose which one feels best for you today. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Again, sometimes just slowing a movement down can make it even more difficult too. It also looks pretty fun on the screen. But sometimes just slowing a movement down will make it more challenging, give us more control over the movement. And these are always things you can be exploring on your end. Work for 3, 2, 1. Great work. Definitely grab a drink of water. We're not out of the summer yet, although it is thankfully a little cooler. But then when you're ready, I'll invite you to stand up and get ready for standing exercises. Good. So as always, as we say, the chair is in front of you throughout for support, stability, balance. I'll move it in and out of the frame so you can see the movement, but you always got it right in front of you for extra support. Our first movement is going to be a curtsy lunge. So we're going to do a little curtsy. It could be as simple as that, leg going around the back. But as we get warmed up, if we could drop that into a lunge, lunges are difficult. Only go to the range of motion that feels comfortable. That's a great movement for us. So from the side, we're looking like that, using the chair for support. That'll be great for us. Next up will be punches from the standing position. Nice and simple. We'll get into a staggered boxer stance, and we'll shift up that boxer stance for each set. Third movement, again, chair in front of you, but just so you can see, we're going to do our favorite rock the boat movement here. At first, both feet are on the ground, and then we get further extension coming up into single leg calf raises. Fourth movement we'll do out of a nice squat position. We're going to do our good morning yawn from the horse stance, wide quarter squat position. Fifth movement will be a Superman hold. Taking off like Superman. I'll talk you through that movement in a moment. But we'll get started with our curtsy lunges. So the chair is in front of you, using it for support, and we'll get into that in 3, 2, 1. Again, you're only going to the depth you can. If it's just a little reach around back, that's great for proprioception, for balance. It is getting the quad and the glute involved. And then as you feel more confident, you go deeper into the lunge. Working hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent work. Next up is going to be punches. We'll do a boxer stance here, stagger stance. So I'm dropping my right foot back. Right arm is coming out for a bigger punch. Left arm is in a tighter jab. But again, just have some fun with it. Explore the movement in 3, 2, 1. Feel that inner warrior. Feel strong. Feel confident. Keep those arms moving steadily. The shoulders are feeling a nice burn. Triceps are getting involved. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work. That's our second movement. Third up is going to be rock the boat. We start to just sway with the rock of the boat, lifting one heel up off the ground at a time. And then we deepen that movement and give ourselves more and more into it, into a single leg calf raise in 3, 2, 1. So again, go as far as the movement feels good for you right now. If you're feeling strong and loose, come up into one of these calf raises. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent work. Again, that chair can be in front of you the whole time for support and stability. Then you move away from it as you feel confident. Next up, out of a horse stance. So it's a nice wide quarter squat. Legs are nice and wide, but just coming down into a quarter squat just gets the quads involved here. We're going to do our good morning yawn movement from this position. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work. Last movement is going to be a Superman hold. We're going to have our left arm up on the chair, which means our left leg is going to kick back. We're going to inhale our right arm overhead, and then we bend forward as far as we could go. If it's just holding it here for 40 seconds, that's great. If we could get more to parallel with the ground, the movement gets more and more difficult. So find the right position for you that you can hold for 40 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Nice, strong, isometric hold here. Breathing deeply, we're comfortable. Loosen the muscles in the face. We're not gritting through this. We're holding nice and strong, comfortable, confident. Feel that left glute engaging, holding that leg up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work there. Little extended break for one more round, and then we've got our meditation experience. We've got our curtsy lunges, we've got our punches, we've got to rock the boat, good mornings, and then a Superman hold. And we'll make sure to work the opposite side of the body on a couple of those. And I'll talk you through those as we go. But to start, we're going to do our curtsy lunges in 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work. Body's feeling great. The oxygen is flowing around our body. The blood's flowing. Everything's feeling loose and open. We got a couple more movements before we channel all of that into meditation. Next up is punches. If you did stagger your stance last time, just stagger the other way. So I'm going to drop my left foot back, throw from the left side of the body. But again, have some fun with it. Feel like a warrior. Feel strong. Feel confident. Big smiles. Let's do that in 3, 2, 1. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work there. 3 more movements. We got our rock the boat. Really get into the feeling the rock of the boat. And as I said before, a good way to make a more challenging movement is to sometimes to slow it down and to hold it. So if you could come up into a calf raise and hold it, that's the most difficult version of this movement. But you do the range of motion that works for you, starting in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Great work. 2 more movements. Good morning yawns out of the squat position, and then our Superman hold on the other side of our body. So let's get into our nice, good horse stance here. Wide quarter squat position. You could come down even a little lower if you want, maybe closer to halfway. Just gets the quads involved, working a little bit for us. Let's do our good mornings in 3, 2, 1. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work. One more movement. Last isometric hold of the summer. Give yourself to this one. Our right arm's going to be up on the chair. It means our right leg kicks back, glutes engaged, left arm reaching up overhead, bending over into that Superman hold, holding for 40 seconds. Let's finish strong together here. Really feel this community. Feel all the work you've given yourself this summer, all the improvements you've experienced in this last movement. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Kick that leg back. Coming over into the lean forward, holding strong for 40 seconds. Channel all the energy, all the movements you've done this summer together. Bring it to this final hold, this final movement. Let it sink deep into your body. Feel that energy, feel that life. Feel the gifts you've given yourself, the growth you've experienced. As we hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great finish there, everybody. I really felt that one. I think our community really felt that energy. And with that, bring all that energy, all that insight, all that wisdom, all that work back to our chair for the most important exercise we do, which is for our mind. And so we bring all of that freedom, all of that movement, all of that space, all of that growth we've experienced this summer together with our weekly practice and whatever else it is you do for yourself. And we bring that to this meditation, to this mindfulness experience. And today we're going to do one of my favorite forms of meditation that I had done in different fashions before, in different ways. It's sort of a mantra prayer, as I always say. But I've really discovered a new way to do it and experience it in this class. So that's been a journey for me as well. I hope you've gotten something out of this. It's a great practice that I feel has been given to me as a gift in so many ways. And so we'll start off by finding a good meditative posture. I'll do that in a moment. But then I placed a poem in the chat. And it's a mindfulness poem, a contemplative poem. And we'll treat it as a source for a mantra or a sacred word, a very common practice to all the great traditions, religions that have come down through history, and philosophies and different ways of just getting in touch with our deeper selves, however you understand that to be done best. And so I'll read the poem once just to get a sense of it. You can read along on the screen. There's a link there. You could listen to my voice. Let the practice be yours. Then I'll read it a second time. And on the second time, you listen for a word or phrase that really reaches out to you, that strikes you. Try not to look for the right word or phrase, or try not to get too heady with it where you're thinking, what is the word or phrase I'm supposed to be hearing? Just let yourself be moved, and your mind and your subconscious and your soul and your spirit knows more than you know sometimes, than your ego mind knows. And so let that deeper part of yourself speak to you by allowing yourself to be struck, or moved. And so when you hear that word or phrase, then you hold on to it. And then for about 6 to 8 minutes, you gently repeat it to yourself with your breath. So maybe once or twice on the in-breath, once or twice on the out-breath, whatever rhythm or pattern feels good or natural. And you use that as an anchor to settle mind, settle heart, settle body. And you dive deeper and deeper into that word, that phrase, let it sink into your heart, into your soul. And then you carry it with you throughout the day, throughout the week. And anytime you feel anxious, worried, stressed, afraid, pulled out of yourself, you can return to that anchor. And the image of an anchor is, I think, appropriate here, as this poem is Joe Paddock's One's Ship Comes In. And so I invite you to get started by just finding a good contemplative posture. The posture we go through at the start of the class is certainly a good one, very basic one, front of the chair, upright and engaged. But if you know a lotus position or a cross-legged position or a half lotus position, you're certainly welcome to any version you'd like. If you want to, if you're capable of it and it feels comfortable and you want to lie down on the ground, that could certainly work too. There's no right or wrong answer here. Just do what is safe and comfortable for you at home to experience this meditation. And so let's begin by taking a deep breath in through our nose. Allow the stomach to expand fully. Hold the breath in for a moment. And then exhale fully out of the mouth as you let the navel fall into the spine. Breathe in deeply into the stomach. Exhale fully out of the mouth. Breathe in peace and calm and relaxation. Breathe out fear, worry, and anxiety. And listen now to Joe Paddock's One's Ship Comes In. I swear my way now will be to continue without plan or hope, to accept the drift of things, to shift from endless effort to joy in, say, that robin plunging into the mossy shallows of my bird bath and splashing madly till the air shines with spray. Joy it will be, say, in Nancy, pretty in pink and rumpled t-shirt, rubbing sleep from her eyes. Or joy even in just this breathing, free of fright and clutch, knowing how one's ship comes in with each such breath. And now on this second reading, listen to any word or phrase that reaches out to you and calls to you. And when you do so, then you repeat that word or phrase to yourself with your breath. I swear my way now will be to continue without plan or hope, to accept the drift of things, to shift from endless effort to joy in, say, that robin plunging into the mossy shallows of my bird bath and splashing madly till the air shines with spray. Joy it will be, say, in Nancy, pretty in pink and rumpled t-shirt, rubbing sleep from her eyes. Or joy even in just this breathing, free of fright and clutch, knowing how one's ship comes in with each such breath. And so now repeat that word or phrase to yourself with your breathing on your own for the next few minutes. And to bring our meditation and our summer to a close, I'll read Joe Paddock's "One's Ship Comes In" once more. I swear, my way now will be to continue without plan or hope, to accept the drift of things, to shift from endless effort to joy in, say, that robin plunging into the mossy shallows of my bird bath and splashing madly till the air shines with spray. Joy it will be, say, in Nancy, pretty in pink and rumpled t-shirt, rubbing sleep from her eyes. Or joy even in just this breathing, free of fright and clutch, knowing how one's ship comes in with each such breath. And take just a moment to feel this relaxation, this joy, this peacefulness, whatever it is you're experiencing at this moment. You could gently open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and your toes. But just take a moment to notice this. In yoga, at the end of a yoga practice, we're really encouraged to sit with the meditation for a bit. So if you have time after this class, always, I would invite you to that. For me, today, the phrase that caught my heart was, "Joy it will be." And I just felt that as sort of a prophetic sign of the future and the joy that will come in the future. I have a number of transitions going on in my life that have caused at different times some anxiety to creep back in, some fatigue, feeling tired, a little burnt out, nervous about big changes. And I know with these changes, the joy is coming. I will find joy in these changes if I let go of some of my own clutching and fearfulness. And so it was just nice to hear that said to me. And I'll carry that with me this week. And this is a community that brings me much joy. And so I've been really grateful for you this summer. We will be seeing each other again at some point. And until that point, know I'm thinking of you. I'm joyful with you. And you mean a lot to me. And I look forward to seeing you again.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.